Hi, good morning students. Welcome back for the second session of the network concepts. In previous session we discussed about some network need, goals and also TCP/IP and some network protocols, dear students, in the last class. So in this class today we are going to discuss about network and its elementary terminologies, and what is internet and what is interspace, what is a nodes, what is a server, what are non-dedicated server and a dedicated server, and the types of network, dear students. So let me begin with the first topic of today's class, that is what we called as, that is internet and interspace. Internet and interspace. See, as I said earlier, this is the internet. How usually we will call, that is what we call as the connections of the different computers, the connections of the different autonomous computers, connections of the computers in a one particular segment. That is what we call as internet connections. But the one more new word to you, that is what we call as interspace. It is also a type of the technology. It will provide some space for the, usually for the 3D gaming purpose, multimedia purpose and all these things. This is what we call as interspace. That's why, dear students, I wrote the two different particular words, that is internet and interspace. Both are different concepts. Usually connections of the different type of the computer or autonomous computer, that is what we call as internet. Connection through the wire or wireless. So we have so many techniques, so many types of the network based on its physical connection. Let us discuss next topic. But that internet means connections of the dissimilar or similar networks. That is what we call as internet. Space, it will provide a space particularly for the 3D gaming options and multimedia like workstations and playstations, all these things. That is what we called as, it's providing a space. That is what we called as interspace, dear students. They may ask one more question, what is internet or what is interspace? So this will be a very important topic for that particular question, dear students. After this internet and interspace, now we are going to the exact topic, that is what we call as elementary terminologies. Elementary terminologies of network. See, in this one, first we will get that are nodes. Second one, that are servers. So in servers, we have two categories. One is non-dedicated server and second one dedicated server. So these are all some elements. So in this particular elementary terminologies of the network, that are nodes and the server are the two elementary terminologies of the network. In that servers, non-dedicated and dedicated part of the servers. Let me begin with what are nodes. See, in the computer, it will be connected to the one end, and another computer will connect it to the different end. If series of these kinds of the computer will connect it to the one particular place, that place is what we called as node. So usually series of the computers we are connecting for some other purpose. At that time we are having so many nodes. Like that, node means here a particular place where the computer will be connected. So usually this will be a very important topic, because each and every node will be acting as a connection for the computer place. So that is what we call as node. And also if I coming to the server, so as I said earlier, servers are the responders to the clients. Response to the clients. So in these servers, dedicated and non-dedicated, two types of the servers are there. So before going to the non-dedicated and dedicated, in the server, so one thing dear students, server is not a different concept, server is not a technology, server is also a type of the big computer. Server is also a type of the computer. From that computer, it will respond to the client's request. So that is what we called as a server. So in that non-dedicated particular server and dedicated server. If I coming to the non-dedicated server, so in the non-dedicated server, some workstations will come. Workstations. Workstations means with the help of this particular technologies. See, these are all the workstations. They are double than the servers. They are the double in the physical capacity, that are double than the servers. But usually workstations will not completely do its work how the servers will do, or how the dedicated servers will do. The same task will not completely done by the workstation, because it has some limitations. So with the help of that non-dedicated servers, of course this are also the responders, but it will not complete the tasks. And also if I coming to the second category, dedicated servers, these are also a very big servers. Dedicated servers are fully, that will complete what the request from the client, that will respond to the client. And also from this dedicated server, it is a big network. From this dedicated server, there is no loss of the network, and usually we will get more data transcription from the help of the dedicated servers. This will be the major difference. Here also workstations will work, but here it will be complete the task. This is the major difference between non-dedicated and dedicated server system, dear students. These two are the elementary concepts of a network. And one more thing, nodes and servers are the elementary terminologies of the network. They may ask the question like this: mention the elementary terminologies of network for the 2 marks, and also for 1 mark, define node or what are servers, what is non-dedicated server, what are dedicated server. They may ask like this for 1 or 2 mark questions, the combinations of the question possible. Then this will be important topic, dear friends, elementary terminologies of network. After this topic, now we are going to one more a very important topic about the network concept, that is types of network. So in the types of network, usually we are getting 3 major types of network. You already may heard the name LAN, WAN and MAN, or LAN, MAN and WAN. I will write on the board. LAN, MAN, M-A-N, MAN, and the third category, that is what we call as, that is WAN. All these 3 are the types of network. Types of network. Remember the students. So if I coming to the abbreviations of these types, LAN, local area network. Second one, MAN, Metropolitan Area Network. And third one, WAN, Wide Area Network. Wide Area Network. So dear students, coming to the one by one types of the network, we have some a small pictorial representation of the network, that are how this network, types of the network will establish its connection. Now I will write some small symbolic representations of these types of the network, dear students. We concentrate on these diagrams whenever in the questions of the types of the network. You should write the diagrams of these types of the network. If I come into the first one, local area network, LAN. See, some series of the computers are connected like this. Some nearly 4 to 6 computers. See, assume these are all some computers. Some nearly 6 to 7 computers are connected internally. So, I will write one outer layer for these kinds of the particular type of the network, that is LAN network. See here, why I wrote this particular outer layer means this is a small range. This is what we call as a local area. Range is around 1 to 2 kilometers or very small distance. This is the representation of the range. That's why here I will write this is local area. Local area. And dear students, see here, one computer acting as a server, and this computer will connect to the different computers through one physical cable. This cable is also called as LAN cable. In the types of the LAN cable, we are getting some versions that are CAT 1 to CAT 5. These are all the versions of the LAN cable, dear students. In this 2020 paper, in March paper, they asked one question for the transmission media. Mention the type of the cable what we are using in twisted pair. So on that time, so many students are forget to write this answer, because we are having in the types of that LAN cable, we have types that are CAT cables, that are CAT 1 to CAT 5 are the categories will come. With the help of that type of the cable, we are usually connects the computer like internally. Not only 6, it may increase or it may decrease, but for the reference I am giving here, nearly 6 to 7 computers are connected. See, dear students, by connecting each computer with the one physical cable, that cable is what I am calling as, that is LAN cable. So in that LAN cable only some categories will come, that are CAT 1 to CAT 5 type of the cable. So each and every computer are connected with the help of the cable. So see here, the range is very small. The range is very small, local area. So many examples we will give for the local area network, that are in our school for the laboratories we are connecting a network, that is what we call as LAN. And if I coming to the office, government office or any other offices, in that office series of the computers are connected, so that are also called as LAN network. If I coming to the hospitals, series of the computers are connected in for the different purpose, that are also LAN type of the network. Like that, we have so many areas where a small means within that premises, within that area, the range is very small. That type of the network is what we call as local area network. So when we are connecting to the computers, so with the help of that LAN cable, so versions of this cable, CAT 1 to CAT 5 category. So whenever we are connecting the cable, see, by seeing this diagram, we are clearly analyzing almost all computers with this exact distance, the computers are connected. Here, the maximum speed is coming to these kinds of the LAN cable, because you may ask one question, why the maximum speed will come based on the local area network for the communication. See, dear students, one thing you should remember, wherever the physical connection is possible, wherever the wire media is using for the communication purpose, that time we have a chance for a maximum speed communication instead of the wireless communication, because there in the wireless network communication they have some limitations. Hence we will not to reach that much extension what the physical media will do its maximum speed. That's why local area network, it has a maximum speed. And also so many advantages we have. Whenever we are connecting a LAN through some cables, if anything happens to the computer, if anything happens to the one computer, very easy to identify errors. Very easy to identify the errors. So that time LAN and local area network, because limitation, because a number of connections are very less, that time identifications of error is also very easy. And also, dear students, communication speed is also more, because how the network will be speed, like that the communication speed also here more than compared to the other type of the network. The major drawback of the LAN, the major disadvantage of the LAN when we are coming to the difference, that is the range of the local area network is limited. It will not come to the over the seas. It will not come for the major big cities. So that will be the major drawback of the LAN network, its limitation, that is its range, that is very small in range. So as well as we have some advantages like disadvantages too. Then coming to the second type of the network, that is MAN, Metropolitan Area Network. See, dear students, when you are writing the metropolitan area network, two things you should remember. Here the range is the city, metropolitan city. How we have to represent? See here, connections of the small LANs within a city. See, assume this is a one LAN connection and another one LAN connection here. Collections of the LAN network in within the city, that is what we called as MAN, Metropolitan Area Network. See, this is also one small LAN, two LANs, LAN connection. See, but the range of this particular type of the network, that is, see, that is metropolitan city. Metropolitan city. See here also, connections of the different computer with the help of the LAN, and two different LANs are connected internally either through the wire or wirelessly. Because within that city, it's a very difficult for the connection between the two types of the different categories of the LAN. For this metropolitan area network, I will give you one best example. That is your dish communication. That is your dish channels, dish TVs. So they are usually use this technology, that is metropolitan area network technology, because the small segments of the areas will connect it to the one major particular area. So that is what we called as a MAN. So now, dear students, you just compare the metropolitan area network with the previous local area network. What will be the major difference you are getting? The major difference is its range. Its range, because that is only around 1 to 2 or maximum 5 kilometers range, that is local area network, but this is around the metropolitan city. The whole metropolitan city it will cover. So 100% the range is increased. Whenever the range is increased, automatically the speed of the network is decreased, because it may vary with the physical connection, wire or wirelessly. Because in the metropolitan area network, almost all connections in the inside that may connected with the LAN through the wire only. but when you are connecting to the one particular place with the one server or one particular area, that time we have a chance to connect the networks through wirelessly. So because the huge area will be there, and that time automatically transfer rate of the data reduces. So little bit slower than LAN. And also identification of errors are also difficult. Errors identifications are also difficult because the huge connection, whenever the numbers of the connections are more, that time identifications of the errors is also difficult. So next, when you are comparing the metropolitan area network with the LAN, as I said earlier, the series of the connections with the help of the LAN cables, some of the versions of the LAN cable, CAT cables, what I said previously. But here also, we are using the CAT cables. Instead of the CAT cables, we are using the wireless unguided medias like infrared and also laser technologies and radio waves, lasers. So all these unguided medias also we are using to connect to the computers in the metropolitan area network. So these are all some limitations of the metropolitan area network, dear students. Then, when we are comparing with the LAN and MAN, one more technology is there, that is what we called as WAN. Whenever writing this type of the particular WAN area, wide area network, see, its range is over the seas. Over the seas means behind the seas also we have a chance for the connection, because this is a 100% wireless technology, and also nowadays we are getting a different technologies terminations. So based with the help of that unguided medias from the servers, that we have a chance for the communication. That type of that network is what we called as WAN. Just assume this diagram. It's not actually as like this. Just I am assuming. So like that, small connections of one LAN. There is one LAN connected to one more kinds of the small LAN with a one metropolitan area network range, and all this range that is over the sea. So over the sea. So this is what we call as connections of the computer with wirelessly for the huge over the seas as a limitation by its range. Range is wide. That's why the name of this particular network, that is what we call as wide area network, WAN, wide area. The area covered with this type of the network is huge, wide, or over the seas. See, dear students, whenever connecting these kinds of the type of the network, 100% we have so many advantages. By it will covers the long distance, it will covers over the seas, it will covers the territories and also remote areas. Everything's are advantages. By along with that, whenever we are connecting a network for the long distances, generally we will get some major drawbacks also. In that, the first one, when just you are compare with the LAN and the MAN antenna. So compared to the LAN and MAN, the wide area network, it will be slower than LAN and MAN. The speed is slower than LAN and WAN. And also, dear students, error identification. Error identification is also difficult. and also cost wise also it's not economical, so cost is also more, because it needs some long distances, it needs some unguided media. Compared to the guided media, the cost is also more. So these are all some what we will call differences between LAN, WAN and MAN. All these types of the network has its own limitations, has its own advantages and also disadvantages, dear students. In previous year of question papers, they may ask some difference between LAN and WAN, difference between MAN and WAN. Like that, they may ask the question. Usually for the 2 mark, nearly you have to write just 4 differences between each types of the network, dear students. So just you compare with the versions of the LAN, MAN and WAN. Overall, we will say this type of the types of the network will used for the communication with their own limitations, with their own advantages and disadvantages. So this is what we called as a types of network, dear students. So in next particular topic, we are going to discuss about network topologies. See, dear students, in this particular topic, how the network is established, how the network will be established connections with the help of some diagrammatical representation. Topology means a symbolic representation, diagrammatic pictorial representation of the network. So this is what we call as topology. So usually in our syllabus, usually we are having 4 to 5 topologies of the network. Let us discuss one by one. That is, first one, linear bus topology. Second one, ring topology. Third one, star topology. And fourth one, mesh topology. And fifth one, tree topology. Tree topology, dear students. So usually we are having these main 5 types of the topologies. All these types of the topologies having a different pictorial representation. See, in this particular topic, in previous year paper, as we said, they may ask for any 3 for the explanation, or for total 5 explanations, all explain network topologies like that, or based on that length of the answers, they will expect that some answer from you. So assume this question, consider this question as for the as well as for 5 mark and also for 2 mark question. So if I coming to the first type of the topology, linear bus topology. So before explaining this linear bus topology, now I want to write one diagram. So that will be represents linear bus topology. Be careful when we are writing the diagrams. See, it have one common cable like this. Through this common cable, we are connecting some different computers. See, with the help of these particular segments, now I have a chance to connect one computer like this. I am connecting series of computers to this cable. So this is what we call as linear bus cable, LAN type of the cable we are using. See, assume these are all the clients or nodes. See, so in linear bus topology, when this pictorial representation says how, see, we have the two common ends. We have the two common ends, and for this cable, we have a chance for extension. Here there is no end. Here there is no end. We have a chance for expansion of the cable also. That time we have a chance to increase the system length also. So counts also. That's why linear bus topology, it doesn't have any end, because we will have a chance to continue this cable, and also we have the connection for the more computers to the series. Linear. That's what the linear says, one after another. We have a chance connecting to the computer with the help of one common cable. This cable is what we called as LAN cable. Technology is linear bus topology. See, in this topology, we are having some advantages and disadvantages too. Now I will discuss about some advantages, dear students. The major advantage of this technology is we have an expansion. We have a chance to expand the cable. So hence, this is one advantage. We have a chance to increase the sizes of the computer. Okay, we have a chance to increase the length of the cable. Automatically, the numbers of the computers also we having a chance to increase. Second one, errors rates also very less. Errors rates, because one after another the computers are connected. Very easy for the identifications of the errors also, as well as error rates also less. So this is one second advantage of the linear bus topology. And also, dear students, it is economical, because this type of the topology uses a less cable for the connection, for the establishment, and this is economical. And one more important advantage is there, dear students. For the connections of the linear bus topology, you no need to require a specialist or a technician for the communication, because it is a very simple topology for the normal human being with having a chance to communicate, connection establishment. No need of the experts for the communication. Whenever we are not using experts or technicians, that time we will save our money. So it is economical. That's why. So these are all the major advantages of the linear bus topology. Then coming to the major drawbacks or disadvantages of this topology, dear students. See, of course, so as I said earlier, it has a chance of expansion. It has a chance of expansion, but whenever a series of the communication, whenever it will taking place, automatically it consumes more time. It will consume more time, because a series, one after another, the communication will possible. So the maximum data transfer rate is slow. Next, whenever we are connecting to the computers to the one common cable, see here, nearly 5 to 10 computers are connected to the one common cable. If anything happens to the main cable, the main bus cable, the whole system will collapse its communication. That time the major default will be there, because if anything happens to the main cable, almost all computers will lose its connectivity. That time work will not complete. So this is also a second major disadvantage of the linear bus topology, and as well as limitation, its range. Whenever you are connecting, we are usually these kinds of the linear bus topology, as I said earlier, LAN areas are utilizing for the communication. Hence, its limitation is very small area. That's why it is also, we will consider one drawback of the topology. Then, so nearly 4 advantages and 4 disadvantages you are getting. Like that, now we are going to the next topology. Just to compare this topology with the previous versions, what are all the advantages and the disadvantages and how to represent this type of the topology. Then if I come to the second type of the topology, that is ring topology. See here. Ring topology. Whenever representing the ring topology, now I will write the diagram. Just closely observe this. It will represent like a ring in circular shape. That's why this type of the topology usually we will call that is like a ring topology. See here the 4 different nodes. Communication, just check the arrow marks here, how the communication is possible with the help of that ring topology. See here, it is in the circular shape, and also in the ring topology we are also calling this is closed circuit. Closed circuit, because see, the end of this particular topology is attached to the first topology, first particular end of that particular server. That's why node. This type of the topology is a closed circuit. Closed circuit. Here there is no expansion is possible. The major drawback. And also very limited range. So these are all some key factors about the ring topology, one by one, and now we will come into the ring topology definition. Why we have to call this a ring? Because connections of the nodes, different computers in a circular shape, that is in a ring shape. That's why that's the ring topology, the name describes. And each and every node of the computers are connected in circular shape, one after another in clockwise, that all the computers are connected. So this is a connection type of the ring topology. And also, dear students, in the ring topology, the major advantage is check its numbers of the computers. Only for this diagram representation we wrote this 4. Like that, in this type of the topology, ring topology, very limited numbers of the computers are possible for the connection. Because it is a closed circuit, it does not support for expansion. So, where less numbers of the computers are connected. See, whenever less numbers of the computers are connected to the one particular topology, automatically the speed of that network is increases. Because instead of 10 computers communicate one data and 4 computers are connected to the communicating a data, it will take a very less time. That's why ring topology, the data transfer rate is high, and also it is also economical, because here also less numbers of the cables we are using, not much cables we are using for the connection purpose. And also in ring topology also no need of expert technician for the connection purpose, hence this is economical, no need of expert technician. And also identifications of the error is also very easy, because less numbers of the computers, so identifications of the error is also very easy. So dear students, after the advantages of the ring topology, coming to the major drawbacks or disadvantages or limitations of the ring topology. So the major drawback, when you are observing this diagram, you will get one major drawback, because it is a closed circuit. When the type of the topology has a closed circuit, that will not support for expansion. Major drawback, that will not support for expansion. Then ring topology having a circular shape, a connection is in a path. So this is also one major drawback of the ring topology, because if the data wants to send from computer 1 to computer 4, automatically it will reach us to the computer 2, 3 and 4. So it will consume more time for the communication. That's why the ring topology when its path, when the coming to its path connection, that is also major drawback of the ring topology. And also in ring topology, if anything happens to the common cable, again the connections of all four computers are collapse its connectivity, and also that's also major drawback. So ring topology also having some advantages like disadvantages too. So dear students, this will about a ring topology. So coming to the third topology, that is a star topology. Just think about its representation. What are all the advantages and disadvantages? You only you have a chance to write, because when you just compare, automatically you will get that differences, because topologies and its representation, when you are seeing the diagram, you will get. See, like that third one, that is star topology. Star topology. In star topology, see here the representation in star-like structure. First I will like star-like structure. See, each type of the computer nodes are connected like a star-like structure. See here, looks like a star. So each type of the computers are connected. See, connected with the help of a star-like structure. See dear students, graphical representation is look like a star, hence this type of the topology usually we will call as a star topology. So now in this particular topology, star topology, we are having star-like structure. Just you compare with the previous topology, here connection is possible in between the nodes of the computer, but each and every node is connects directly minimum 2 subnodes, or one type of the computer will connect minimum 2 computers by its edges. See here, this computer 1 connect to this and this one, computer 2 like this. Each and every computer having a minimum 2 direct connections between the computers. So this is also one major advantage. And also in star topology, when they are comparing with the ring and linear bus topology, here just a little bit more cables we are using. As I said earlier, if you are using more cable, automatically it will consume more money. Whenever the wires are more, automatically it is not economical, because it will take more money for the connection. Whenever the wires are more, expert technicians are needed, because on that time connection is difficult. That's why star topology is not an economical. Star topology needs expert technician for the connection. Star topology 100% more types of computers are connected. But what will be the major advantage of the star topology, dear students? Here data transfer rate compared to the linear and ring topology is little bit higher, because one computer having a chance to connect 2 different computers directly. That's why the data transfer rate is little bit higher than ring and linear bus topology. And also in star topology, as I said, in that middle part of the star topology, we are using one hub. Through this hub only, almost all type of the cables we are internally connected. It will looks like this. It is called as hub. From this one particular center place, almost all the nodes of the computer are connected. That is what we call as hub. So hub. So these are all some advantages and disadvantages. Once again I will repeat, dear students. In star topology, advantages. It has a direct connections between the 2 different nodes. Hence, data transfer rate is high. In star topology, communication speed is also more, and in star topology, its range is more because it will covers the large area. So it covers the large area, so it is also one advantage. And when we are coming to the disadvantages of the star topology, it consumes a more wire for the communication. It consumes more wire for the connection that time, so it is not economical. And whenever star topology needs a more wire, that time automatically needs expert technician for the connection. And in star topology, it having one common hub for the connection. If anything happens to this common hub, all connections of the star topology will collapse. That time some problem will occur to this type of the topology. Hence, the hub will plays the very important role in star topology. So these are all the major disadvantages of star topology. Then coming to the fourth topology, that is mesh topology, dear students. It's also almost looks like a star topology, but interconnections are more. See, fourth one, mesh topology. See the diagrams, how we are writing for star topology. First we have to write the same diagram, then connect almost all the internodes of that particular edges. Interconnections of the edges, not only outer part and also for inner parts also, internal parts also. See, one common node, 2, 3. See, by this diagram, the mesh topology, you are getting one conclusion now. Almost all the nodes what we are given to the one common end, it will having a chance for connections to the all the nodes of that particular mesh topology. Assume this diagram. See, one particular computer, it has a chance to connect almost all nodes of the topology directly. So hence, the mesh topology is a most powerful topology because it has more connections, it has more cable, it has expert, it needs expert technician, and also it is not an economical because it is uses more cable. See, the major advantages of this topology: data transfer rate is high, communication speed is more, and in this topology, communication is directly whenever it needs. For computer 1 to computer 5, it wants to transfer the data, it will transfer. Hence, it consumes very less time for the communication. So these are all some major advantages. But in disadvantages also there in the mesh topology, major disadvantage of the star topology, difficult for connection because it has more nodes, it has more internal nodes, and it consumes the more wire. It consumes more wire means it is not economical, and it needs expert technicians also needs for the connection. And also major one more drawback, identifications of error is much difficult than any other topology, previous topology, because where you will identify if anything happens to in between of the cable, it's very difficult to identify the errors. Hence, so the major drawback of this topology is identification of error is also difficult. So this is what we call as a mesh topology. And finally, we have one more topology, that is what we call as tree topology. So it looks like a tree. See, fifth one, tree topology. See here, first I will write one linear bus topology cable, and I will write the branches of the linear bus topology cable. And I will just connection of different computers with the help of this cable, like this. This is what we call as bus, cable, here also bus. Different kinds of the computers are connected. See here. So it looks like a tree. So this is one pictorial representation how it looks exactly. See here the combinations of topologies we are using here. So in this linear bus topology is there as well as. So see here some connections of the small linear bus topology into the major one bus topology. So that in that particular the major advantage of this topology is it will it have a chance to connect more computers at a time, because it will support for the expansion. See here we have a chance for expansion of the tree topologies. Like that, whenever we need extra connection, that time we have a chance for expansion. And also another one advantage is almost all the computers are connected with the small lower buses topologies. Hence we have a chance for communication with this small part is also possible. And also in the tree topology, the major drawback is almost all the segments of the topologies are connected through one common bus. If anything happens to this common bus or a cable, the whole almost all the topologies will collapse the connectivity. And also identification of error is also very difficult, because numbers of computers are more and the range of this computer is more. Here also it consumes the more wire for the connection. And whenever comparing with the mesh topology, not need a much type of the expert technician for connection, because it is a simple linear bus topology but interconnected. So that's why not need of an expert technician for the connection. And also comparing to the economical mesh topology, it is an economical, not much cables or expert technicians are need for the connection. So this is what we call as tree topology. And this topology is not that much popular, because the limitation is more. And also this type of the topology, it having some difficulties whenever we are facing a connection problem on that type, because it have the segment losses, because segment connectivities are there. If anything happen to the segment on that time, connection network problems also will occur. That time it's not that much popular comparing to the another type of the topologies. But this is also one type of the connecting type, that is linear bus topology, dear students. So dear students, today we are discussed about topologies and its advantages and disadvantages, and also elementary terminologies of internet, dear students. So keep write a key notes about this topic and also practice in your home. Thank you.